What's up guys? I've got an unboxing for you today that includes one of my 2025 gold books as well as a general haul catch-up for you. Let's get into it. What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is John and you're watching Old Stuff is Cool. So as I mentioned at the top of the video, we've got an unboxing and haul video for you today. So let's get right into it. Let's not beat around the bush. The first mail call comes from Next Gen Collector. He's over here on YouTube. He's doing sales on Whatnot as well. So I'll be sure to leave a link in the description below so you can check out Hayden's channel and maybe pick up a comic from him. But I got some great Captain America keys recently, and there's 3 books here. First one I got was Captain America 333. Fantastic cover here. And don't mind me as I refer to my notes down here. This features the first appearance of John Walker as the 4th Captain America. This was after Steve Rogers stepped down from the role. I think he was disillusioned, maybe with the state of the country at the time. It's a story that's on my to-read list, but either way, someone had to be Captain America, and that's where we get John Walker, the future US agent. And along with that, we have the following issue, Captain America 334, so that's John Walker in the Cap costume, and this features Lamar Hoskins as Bucky. So John Walker Cap gets his own Bucky. Again, looking forward to reading this storyline. And last but not least, we have Captain America 354. I absolutely love covers that have some interaction or breaking of the trade dress. And as I mentioned, John Walker over here, you can see him in his US agent costume. This issue, well, it's the first full appearance of John Walker as US agent. And in my notes, he also briefly appeared as US agent in West Coast Avengers number 44. Do I have spec for books related to the Thunderbolts? No, I'm actually on a bit of a Captain America kick. Captain America is a run that I've been collecting, first mostly surrounding when artist Ron Lim comes on board, but I've been picking up issues here and there, and these are comics that are great reads. They don't break the bank, and I'm kind of circling the area of issues like 300 to 400, maybe even the late 200s. So if I come across an issue I really like, and in this current juncture, if it features the art or a great cover by Mike Zeck, I'm probably going to pick it up. Moving on, this is another 3-book haul that I got from a seller on Reddit, over on the subreddit Comic Swaps. Been finding some good deals there. Continuing with the Captain America theme, we have Captain America 404. This is part of that Cap Wolf storyline, Man and Wolf, part 3 of 6. I almost have all the parts. It's a 6-part story, very 90s. Guest stars galore. In this one we have Wolverine. I know Cable shows up at some point. And you know, we like some silliness around these parts, and liking to keep comic book collecting fun. So Cap Wolf is definitely firmly in that category. Following that one, we've got some Doom goodness and Fantastic Four 259. I am slowly but surely getting books for my John Byrne run on the book. I think other than the Doom cover, there's not nothing really key about this issue, but nice cover nonetheless. And the last book that I was really excited to get from this seller on Reddit was an upgrade to my existing copy of Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 10. And the seller had this in a Mylar. He was actually getting out of comics, so got this one for a great price. I think I wound up paying, we bundled it together, but I think if we break it down, I got this for around $8, I think, USD. And I thought that's fair. It's a very good copy. I think if I was into grading books and whatnot, I might even consider sending this in to get graded. That's how clean it is. Previously, when I completed my Secret Wars run late last year, 2024, I settled for a very beat up copy that I got for $3-4 of issue 10, and this was when I think that Doom spec was much higher. So I figured just to complete the run, get that low grade version and upgrade it when I could. And that time has come now, and again, I think $8 for a super clean copy of Secret Wars 10. Fantastic beat up Doom cover here. going up against the Beyonder. Love Secret Wars, love Doom, and so happy to add this into the personal collection. Following that is a pickup from one of my favorite Whatnot sellers, Space Lounge Comics, and I was able to pick up this clean copy of Amazing Spider-Man 293, part of Kraven's Last Hunt, classic cover. Again, Mike Zeck. We got Mike Zeck. Love that guy. Can't believe in all my years of collecting, I didn't really know his works and became fully aware of them until just last year. Issue 293 features part 2 of Kraven's Last Hunt, and I picked this up because during this Whatnot stream, I actually won a giveaway. I've been very fortunate to win multiple giveaways from Space Lounge, and he is so generous. I can't plug him enough when you see that he has a show to shop with him, because he's very generous. He is not giving away junk, and he does multiple giveaways throughout his streams. I got this classic figure here. I know I do want to do more toy content, so maybe this is the step in the right direction. This was the giveaway at the top of the show. This is the original Toy Biz Marvel Legends. Still a nice sculpt for, this is the alternate of Angel. The standard one is in the red costume. I had picked up a handful of these back in the day and actually moved the majority of them on as I upgraded to the current Hasbro Marvel Legends. So figures like Doctor Doom and Colossus, I'm glad to have upgraded versions of that. But this figure's pretty solid. Here's the back of the packaging. You can see the white and red Angel I mentioned. These were the early days of Build-A-Figure, so you could assemble your very own Sentinel, which actually looks pretty decent. Having dabbled in the modern Marvel Legends figures, it's amazing how much the face sculpts in particular have improved. Warren's looking maybe a little derpy, maybe, but overall as a figure, I would still say very impressive, given this was like early 2000s. So thanks Space Lounge for your giveaways and for just being a generous seller. And again, this coupled with this ASM issue, some good pickups. Quick reminder, if you're enjoying this video, if you like what I'm doing here on Old Stuff is Cool on YouTube, be sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please consider becoming a subscriber and don't miss out on any of my new videos. All right, moving on to the next haul. It's another one from Whatnot. This is one where I picked up a great book right off the bat. And as you do, you usually want to maximize kind of like free shipping or discounted shipping. So I picked up a few things either for my own personal collection, but also possible trade bait, things that I just thought looked interesting. That probably explains a little bit about this pickup, Green Arrow Year 1. I read this in trade format. What stuck out about this one for me was this beautiful cover by Jock. And it's not a bad read either. I definitely am more Marvel leaning than DC, but I definitely I don't discriminate between the publisher. Isn't something where I'm only Marvel or only this or that. So Green Arrow, Jock cover. This is one that I would say I picked up for trade. So if there's one that you're interested in, maybe hit me up and we can work something out. I'd love to have some trade buddies from the comic community as we continue to grow this channel. Moving on, we've got this beautiful cover. This really was a cover by Daredevil number 112, featuring I think the second appearance of Lady Bullseye. This also features the first appearance of Master Izo or Izo. The character is a founding member of the Hand, the clan of ninja. And Lady Bullseye is such a cool character. This is one, the Ed Brubaker run, fantastic. Not necessarily a great first Daredevil run. I think it actually picks up quite nicely following Brian Michael Bendis' run. Is one I have an omnibus of and probably is worth rereading. But they introduced this character of Lady Bullseye. I'm not sure where she is nowadays, if she's still in use, because you have regular Bullseye running around, but absolutely beautiful cover. Sometimes you just gotta pull the trigger, right? Moving on, we've got some more Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man number 276. And this one is the first and only appearance of Flash as the fourth Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin, not Hobgoblin. He apparently was brainwashed by Roderick Kingsley. So that explains a little bit of what's going on, what's being teased on the cover here. Now, the next and last two books from this haul from Whatnot were the ones I was most excited to tear into. First one is the Avengers 257, featuring the first appearance of Nebula. I think I got this for just under $5. Great condition, big fan of Nebula and the cosmic characters, and I think it's a good reminder for me to keep an eye out for those first appearances, for those key issues, maybe brush up on them when I'm going hunting, because I think I could have easily missed this one. And I think, again, for just under $5, what a steal. And then the big book from this pickup is the first appearance of Psylocke from New Mutants Annual number 2. And this is also on my 2025 comic book goal list. It's not the big one. Like the big comic for today's video is in the unboxing, which we're working our way up to. But to snag this one, I think, being a huge X-Men fan, getting first appearances, I think it's harder, especially for the giant-size X-Men containing a bunch of big appearances, the original 5 X-Men. We might work our way up there, but in the meantime, I find it quite satisfying hunting down, the first Jubilee, the first Psylocke. This prompted me to read this comic for the first time, and it's amazing how different that character was. Psylocke has a very complicated, maybe the most complicated origin / backstory, from her original inception to where she is nowadays, split into two different characters. The Asian ninja version of Psylocke was very prominent when I got in with X-Men #1, with Jim Lee's art and whatnot. I mean, Jim Lee, I'm pretty sure, designed that version of Psylocke that we knew. So it's funny how much backstory that there is for that character. I am very unfamiliar with the original British version that was mostly a psychic, not a ninja. She would later go on and then join the Outback era of the X-Men, which I mentioned in previous videos. It's still one on my to-read list, but I'm working my way up to there. This copy in particular is a mid-grade. There's a few spine ticks on the side. It's not super beat up by any means. I think the spine ticks are the main, detractors of it, but I would still say, mid-grade or just above mid-grade. I got this for just around $20. I thought that was a solid price. Having been to the Clam City Comic-Con, I definitely saw this book there and listed online for easily double, sometimes triple that price. But this was the right price point, in the right condition, so glad to add this key to my collection. And the last item before we get into the unboxing itself is a trade paperback. I've got Beta Ray Bill, Argent Star, and this is one that I've recommended before. Daniel Warren Johnson, in my eyes, can do no wrong. He does a fantastic story, full of heart, melancholy, even tragedy for our boy Beta Ray Bill. I absolutely love this character, and I don't think this is currently in print. I picked up a used, but I mean, this thing looks practically brand new. I don't think it's in print right now. You might be able to find it at your LCS from just backstock, but if you go to Amazon, if you go onto any of the online comic book stores, I had a harder time tracking this one down. So I picked it up used for $6. I highly recommend this volume of Beta Ray Bill. I highly recommend checking out anything from Daniel Warren Johnson. Can't say that enough, and so happy to add this to the bookshelf. All right, so we've caught up on my recent hauls, and now it's time for the actual unboxing. I'm very excited for this, guys. Let's see. As I open this comes also from Whatnot, from probably my other favorite seller, besides Space Lounge Comics. Shout out to Harvey Doss Comics. I'll I'll have a dollar haul from them as well to share with you guys within the next video or two. But this one was during just a regular show where I picked up some very interesting comics, X-Men related, in case I forgot to mention that before. So we've got an X-Men, I'd say X-Men Gold book, Grail book. Alright, so you're along for the ride as I see these books for the first time. First one I have to share is Amazing Spider-Man number 290. And this is where Peter proposes to MJ. I feel like this is a classic cover, and I'm getting a lot of Spider-Man. I really do think I'm going to declare this the year of the Spider for me. Last year was all about X-Men, and I'm still picking up X-Men books. I mean, you know, that is my bread and butter, X-Men and Spider-Man, but definitely hunting down some great keys. So Amazing Spider-Man 290, as well as Amazing Spider-Man number 308. I'm looking to hunt down those Todd McFarlane books, and you know, I forget what pricing I got on these two. I think they were around, I think like $5 or so each, maybe just a tad, maybe a tad above, between 5 and 10, which I thought was quite solid. This next one really stood out in that it's X-Men adjacent. I didn't quite know what it was, and after a quick look, I decided to pull the trigger to get this lower grade copy of the X-Men Chronicles. And this is a fanzine, believe it or not. Some quick information. This was published in 1981 by Fantaco, which is a small publisher associated with a comic book store of the same name. This is one that I'll probably have to do a follow-up video on because I think it's an interesting piece of X-Men history. The fanzine includes some exclusive interviews and really provides a snapshot of fandom at the time. This was produced really soon after the end of the Dark Phoenix saga, so just to get a little peek of what it was like to be reading at that time, as well as getting behind the scenes look from, I think, Jim Shooter. It features a interview with him. We'll dig into this a little bit more and revisit it once I have a chance to do some more research and obviously to read through it. Going along with X-Men, just to further fill in my Chris Claremont run, we got issue number 157. And speaking of Dark Phoenix, she's prominently featured there. This copy is, there's a bit of a crease on the front cover, but, it's a run filler, and this one was rather inexpensive. And last but not least, the book that I was most excited for from this package is Uncanny X-Men 129. And this one features loads of keys. This is the first part of the Dark Phoenix saga. It also features the first appearance of Kitty Pryde, first appearance of Emma Frost, the White Queen, first cameo team appearance of the Hellfire Club in the Shadows. And this one I got was mid-grade. Yeah, it has some wear, but I still think it presents very well. And I think for nicer copies, this was clocking in and above the $100 range. And while I love the Dark Phoenix saga, I think it's more about completing that story arc and that part of the collection to me than having to get the most pristine copy possible. I was lucky, actually. I don't think I've shared the story before, but a lot of my early X-Men, especially ones below issues 200 and below, I was lucky to receive them as a gift, and they varied from some very nice copies to definite reader copies, ones that were well loved. And it was from befriending one of the custodial engineers for my kids when they were in preschool. And every time I pick up my kids, we'd strike up conversations. I think we talk about comic books and wrestling. I mean, it's like peanut butter and jelly. To any other wrestling fans out there, I'm also, a big fan. We'll watch the Royal Rumble with my kids. We're looking forward to watching WrestleMania. Going back to comic books, though, at the end of the school year, and this is when my kids were about to leave, my youngest was going to leave that preschool and we wouldn't go back, he came and handed me a short box of comics and just share these with the kids, get them to reading the stuff that we love. And I was floored by what was in that box because there was stuff from the 90s, but you know, a big chunk of it were these classic Claremont X-Men. So unfortunately, I've lost touch with my buddy Frank there from the preschool, but a big shout out to him and his generosity. It's thanks to him that this collection, which my kids will inherit and then they can do with what they will, I'm able to kind of go on this journey, or would even consider it, because I had nothing from this era of X-Men, and it just seemed unobtainable. That's kind of how I got into getting these X-Men back issues, from that really act of generosity, act of kindness years ago when I wasn't actively collecting at all. And you know, I'm hoping going forward, whether through this channel, becoming more involved with the comic book community, that I can pay it forward and do something similar to a budding comic fan, or you know, a fellow collector and fan within the community. So that might be a really roundabout way of saying low grade is better than no grade. But I think, you know, sharing kind of the things that make each of our own comic book collecting journeys unique is really important, especially, you know, in this medium of YouTube, and maybe gives you a little insight in why I collect. But Uncanny 129, yeah, this was a big one, and I got this for $75. And again, for a mid-grade book, I'm happy to pay that. This is a seller that I like supporting as well. So I do find it a little funny to share or not share about price points, because everyone's like, oh, you know, you got robbed, or oh, that's a great deal. You might get all those responses and everything in between in the comments section, which is totally fine. Happy to hear from you guys, but in case you ever see me looking apprehensive or you know, whatever when it comes to the price point, that's why. Also, I think this is a great opportunity to share with you the graphic that I'm keeping track of my goal books for 2025. We've got quite a few checked off now, and I've added a few to it. So sharing that with you guys so you can keep track at home. I'm gonna be honest, and I think that the rate at which it's going is it's a little more accelerated than I thought. It might be because I'm in a buying frenzy right now, and I gotta cool it for a period of time. We're still only in February as I'm recording this, but overall, I like maintaining this list of books to help focus my comic book hunt. Not to say that I'm not keeping my eye out for other things. Clearly, as I shared with you a whole bunch of other books that are not on this goal list. But that does bring us to the end of the haul. Now, I'd love to hear from you guys, as always. What was your favorite book from this big group of pickups? What are you on the hunt for yourself? I'd love to hear from you, so please sound off in the comments. Otherwise, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Take care.